Also, right now we are in the heart of tax season, and with your returns due in just over a month, and more Americans, they turn to alternative sources of income, which can make filing a little bit more difficult. And joining us to help make filing a little bit easier right now is Mark Stieber, the Chief Tax Officer for Jackson Hewitt. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Very exciting time. Glad to be here, but it is the end game. You're exactly right. Time to get after it.
Exciting time for you. I know a lot of us do not like to do these taxes. It stresses us out. But even we're hearing now that the younger generation and Gen Z, it may be even more stressful for them. So tell us why that is.
Well, the younger people, and I don't think it's relegated to Gen Z, but anybody under 35, they simply don't have the tax returns that the older generation had. They have multiple streams of income. They have a host of other deduction considerations ranging from retirement to basis on their crypto or their side hustle, and a lot of other elections that were much more complicated now than they were years ago. Add all that up, along with the misinformation that, oh, it's so simple, you can do it on a smartphone. That can lead to some, considerable stress when you're sitting there in front of your self-prep software with all these forms and all these life changes, and you got to answer some big questions, and the table stakes could not be higher. And you have to do it by yourself sometimes, they think, which is simply not true as well. So more complicated rules, more complicated life, and a lot of things to consider, and big money on the table. It can be stressful.
And I always tell myself I'm not going to wait till the last minute. And then the day before, I'm always in front of that computer like, oh my gosh. And so just for people who do have multiple streams of income and they have, more jobs to take on, what are some things that they need to gather in place just to make this process go a little bit easier when they are plugging everything in?
Yeah, the easiest way to lower your stress is to simply have a plan, whether it's for health, taking care of your parents or a pet. Having a plan with some concrete deadlines and some actions to follow that is the way to start. So an envelope or a PandaFlex or a shoebox to capture those documents, find last year's stuff, set a date on the calendar, and find some help. Find a convenient, transparent pricing, trained, experienced tax professional near you to take the whole project and outsource it. But be looking for those documents. You should have them by now. And if you don't, I always tell people, hope that it's coming is not a strategy. Find last year's tax return. That's also a good roadmap. And if it's your first time, you certainly need to seek out some professional help. But a plan, a date on the calendar, last year's information, current year's stuff in an envelope, and you're good to go. Just get some help and get it done. 2 out of 3 people getting a big tax refund, up about 8% over last year. It's your money, and 100 million people are going to be getting that money, $300 billion. It's time to get after it and not wait to the last minute.
All good advice there. And of course, right now we're in March, and so this March Madness, people are now doing a lot more sports gambling and betting there. So does that have an impact on your tax returns as well?
Unfortunately, it's got a not good impact, and the rules have not changed. Income, even $1 from gaming, online gambling, even the office pool, technically that's taxable income. And now with online gaming, they've gotten a lot more sophisticated at those platforms. So if you want enough, you're probably going to get a W-2G. And if that's not bad enough, so is the IRS. So they'll know about your winnings if you make more than a certain amount. And there's even more bad news on that. If you've got losses, those are not just being able to be offset against your winnings. You have to report income in one section, and you might or might not be able to take the deductions in another section. So it's really important that if you are gaming, especially of a material amount, you talk with a pro to find out how to report it, what to report, and don't just throw it all on your tax return and figure it's income, without taking into consideration some of the benefits. So it's very popular. It's another part of that Gen Z profile, and a lot more people have it and a lot more of it, so don't mishandle it.
All important things to keep in mind. I know we are short on time, Mark. So one last thing for people who want more information, what can they do?
JacksonHewitt.com website with these tips, videos, and how to locate an office. Just plug your zip code in. But get some help. It's a really important part of your life now, and it's going to be here for 30 or 40, 50 years. JacksonHewitt.com. Start there to get your information, and then find a pro and get it done.
Yeah, someone who's excited about doing them, that's for sure. All right, thank you, Mark, for your time.
Exactly.
Alexis, we'll send it back over to you.